Someone come up here and hit this for me. I can't take
Mischief.
this right. Yeah, we're streaming live now. Whoever's talking to me, we're streaming live now. Okay. All right. If you hold your question, sis, until after the lesson, I'll be happy to answer or communicate with you, whatever you need from me. Okay. All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome. Both Detroit and Macon, Georgia. Thank you for joining us and being here with us. All right. And all of you that are across the country that may be watching, thank you for joining us. All right, we're going to get right into our lesson. The name of the day's topic, the name of the day's lesson is Mischief by Law. Mischief by law. It's interesting, this topic is because given the fact we're in a quote unquote election season. Can you hit this? Can you hit this on there, please? Given the fact that we're in, do you see it? Okay. Given the fact that we're in a election season and all of what's going on as far as Trump getting almost done in, supposedly done in last week, right? You know, I'm telling you, man, I mean, he's turning out to be a regular little hood dude, ain't he? He getting shot at, he going to jail, he in court. I mean, next thing you know, his baby mama's gonna be coming out. If they ain't already out, I don't know, you might have paid them off, you know. Given that we're in a election season and the country have to put these people in place, have to put these people in position to make laws. Now, we as Israelites, we don't really deal with putting kings over us, right? According to the law. However, we have taught to deal with your community. You know what I'm saying? We own property, we own land, we own different things like that. So we have to deal with millage laws and stuff like that. We got to deal with that. Don't be, what I'm saying is, Israelites, don't be simple. That's what I'm saying. Don't be simple. We don't put presidents and kings over us. Is that we don't do that because that the law tells us not to put someone of another nation over us, right? But however, we do deal with what we have to deal with in our captivity. You know, just like the scripture says, to grow gardens, to buy homes, to marry your sons and marry your daughters, and things like that. So we still have to deal somewhat with the public, with what happens, with the going on of the public. You know, so don't be remiss about that. Don't just say I'm opting out of society and you just like a zombie walking around. There's stuff going on around you. You know what I'm saying? That you got to deal with. You have a light bill. You have a water bill. Stuff is happening. You know what I'm saying? And you want people put in the proper place that's going to help your situation. Just like we had Daniel to help in the situation when our people was in captivity. We had Joseph when our people was in captivity to help in that situation. We need people strategically in those, putting those efforts to make it a little bit easier for us. Make it a little bit easier. Okay, well, saying that, every captivity has been the same. This one is no different. We envision the cruelties of slavery, right? So when we think about slavery, we think about kuntikite, getting beat up and feet getting chopped off and getting running through the woods and stuff. We think about the cruelties of slavery and not necessarily the hidden agenda of captivity. The hidden agenda of captivity goes on in the White House. That happens in the halls of Congress. You know what I'm saying? They making laws. They're making laws that affect our lives, right? We've gotten so used to seeing slavery as something else that we don't see it, the hidden agenda behind it for what it is. They framed laws like the Jim Crow laws, the black codes, and black folks in this country to keep black folks in this country in a certain condition, you know, to keep you in a certain state. And it takes Congress to do it. It takes the man in the White House to keep you in a certain position where you won't rise above your station. Now, many people might think the White House ain't thinking about us. Yes, he is. Yes, they is. Yeah, they think about you. These laws, when they are made, they are methodically thought of. Now, what are they going to do? How does this affect? How do we keep them and group them in a certain way where we can monopolize and make money off of them without them rising up as a group? Now, I ain't talking about individually. Individually, we make great strides. Tiger Woods, Michael Jordan, all them, they have made great strides, but they hooked them up with handlers. You might get siphoned off a little piece. You might get help your mama off, but don't go too far in that community and help build that community up. The Bible calls this framing mischief by law. So let's get to scripture. Psalms 94, verses 20 and 21.
This is the book of Psalms 94, verse 20 and 21. Excuse me. Shall the throne of iniquity have fellowship with thee, which frameth mischief by a law?
The throne of iniquity is the powers of sin, the government system of sin. Shall it have fellowship with you? They the ones that frame the mischief by law. Read on.
They gather themselves together against the soul of the righteous.
Come on.
And condemn the innocent blood.
Even if the system does not recognize us as the children of Israel, even if they don't recognize us as that, they conspire against us to ensure that our people stay at a low degree. They conspire that our people stay at a low degree. You can't go too far. That's not for you as a group. That's not for you. So let's go to Psalms 10 now. Let's go to Psalms 10. Let's go to verse 2.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 2. The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined. Let's read verse 2 again.
The wicked in his pride do persecute the poor. Let them be taken in the devices that they have imagined.
So to persecute something is to have hostility against it. To have hostility against it, to regard it with ill treatment, especially those who are those of another ethnicity, right? You want to keep your thumb, so to speak, on their position. Put your foot on their neck, right? You want to stay in their face and make sure that they don't rise above their station. Let's drop down to verse Let's drop that. Before we go there, let's go to Judith. Before we go there, let's go to the book of Judith. The book of Judith, and we're going to go to let's see, 5th chapter of Judith. Fifth chapter, Judith, and we're going to begin at the 5th verse.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5, verse 5. Then said Akor, the captain of all the sons of Ammon, let my Lord now hear a word from the mouth of thy servant, and I will declare unto thee the truth concerning this people which dwelleth near thee, and inhabiteth the hill countries. And there shall no lie come out of the mouth of thy servant.
Read on.
This people are descended of the Chaldeans, and they sojourned heretofore in Mesopotamia,
Read.
because they would not follow the gods of their fathers, which were in the land of Chaldea.
Come on.
For they left the way of their ancestors and worshiped the God of heaven, the God of whom they knew. So they cast them out from the face of their gods, and they fled into Mesopotamia and sojourned there many days.
So this is what's going on. The king asked, shall I make war with the children of Israel? Right? Can I make war with them? Do anybody know anything about these people? Because I want to go up against them. So one of his captains say, I do. And now he began to start telling the king about our history. First of all, they from the land of the Chaldeans. And they left all them gods to serve one true God. He giving him the goods on us now, right? It's a build up here, right? Watch this. Come on.
Then their God commanded them to depart from the place where they sojourned, and to go into the land of Canaan, where they dwelt, and were increased with gold and silver, and with very much cattle.
Read on.
But when a famine covered all the land of Canaan, they went down into Egypt.
We went down into Egypt. On.
And sojourned there.
Read.
While they were nourished, and became there a great multitude, so that one could not number their nation.
Read on.
Therefore the king of Egypt rose up against them, and dealt subtilly with them, and brought them low with laboring in brick, and made them slaves.
So what does it mean when he says the king of Egypt brought them low? To bring them low means to humiliate. It means to bring them to terms. It means to take them for less than or of little importance. This is what the Egyptians thought of us. And this is what spiritual Egypt thinks of us. To bring them very low, to keep them in a low position, because we think very low of these people, whether or not they believe us being the children of Israel or not. This particular group of people, we want to keep them at a low degree, a low state. We want to keep them as consumers. We do not want them to be owners. We don't want them to own land. We don't want them to own property. We do not want them to be a part of our banking systems or financial institutions or anything like that. We want that $1.1 trillion to be spread around amongst the nations and not to them. What did Egypt have to do, brothers and sisters? What did they have to do to keep the children of Israel at a low state? What did they have to do? They had to make decrees. They had to make laws in order to keep them in a certain posture. So let's hold Judah. I know I keep saying hold stuff. So hold Judah. And now let's go to Exodus. Let's go to Exodus now. Exodus, the first chapter. I want you to begin at the 9th verse. We're going to come back to Judah, but let's just hold Exodus. Go to Exodus right quick. Exodus 1 and 9.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 9. And he said unto his people, behold, the people of the children of Israel are more and mightier than we.
They're more and mightier than we, and we have to do something about it. We got to do something about it. These are the powers that be in Egypt at that time. We got to do something about this situation. We got to create a law, a decree for something to happen in order to slow down their progress. Read on.
Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply. And it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them up out of the land.
So we have to deal wisely with them means we have to use careful instruction to force them into the outcome of our favor. We have to be careful and use a careful instruction to force them into a situation that turns into our favor. So guess what? What do you call the doulas? What you call them? Midwives. The midwives. Guess what, midwives? Every time there's a decree going out. A decree is an edict. An edict is a law. Every time a male child is born, get rid of that baby. This is the same thing that's happening today. Y'all don't believe it? What you think abortion clinics is for? What you? When they give birth, why is the mortality rate higher? Say it again. Why is the mortality rate higher among black boys? That's right. Than any other race. Get rid of the boys, because they know if you get rid of the boys, you get rid of the nation. You get rid of the men, you have no warriors. That way we can marry your women, and perhaps some of our children can get a little melanin in their skin. And we won't die of cancer 25 years from now. Skin cancer. Y'all don't think that's going on? What y'all think the black wife effect is? Black women be so silly sometimes. Ooh, they want me. They want me. Yeah, they want you. All that good melanin. They sure do. Yeah. My baby gonna have the good hair. This is how they dealt with us. In Egypt, this is how they dealt with us in spiritual Egypt. They called it, when we got on this side of the world in chains, you know what they called them? They called them black coats. It's the same thing. They called it in the 60s, in the 40s, in the 60s, Jim Crow laws. That's what they called it. Check this out. The black coats, what is that? Because sometimes I can say black coats, people don't, well, I don't even know what that is. Right? So what's the black coats? What am I talking about, right? November 25th, 1865. After the Civil War, former slaves holding states passed laws, former slaveholding states passed laws to restrict the rights of black laborers and to formalize racial hierarchy known as black codes. Mississippi's act to confer civil rights on freemen was the first. This act was brought about in 1865. This was a law put in effect. So, yet we can't call you a slave. You're a freeman. You called a freeman now. We no longer call you a slave. Okay, good. So we created another law. You still working for free though. We just gonna call it something else. How about this one? The Fugitive Slave Act. The Fugitive Slave Act. Y'all know what that is? These are laws that was framed up for our ancestors. You don't think they're in the halls of Congress? You don't think they know about these laws? They trying to figure out what to do now. How to get us right back to there. They want America great again. This is when it was great. we got our Negroes in check. The Fugitive Slave Act, September 18th, 1850. Polarizing over the issue of slavery grew, Congress passed the Fugitive Slave Act as a part of compromise between the Southern slaveholding and Northern free states. The law required all escaped slaves to be returned to their masters, including those who ran away to free states. So it didn't matter if New York was free. If they caught you up in New York, they drug your black behind back to Texas. No. They passed this act because black folks was like, I gotta get north. Now I'm free. They said, no. We got something for you. Boom. Now here they come. Get the paddy wagon. Yeah. Like 12 Years a Slave. Remember that 12 Years a Slave, that movie? Yeah, snatched him right on up. Yeah. Yeah, snatched him right on up. I ain't a slave. Yes, she is, boy. Yeah. Yeah. Let's get one more. I chose these three for a reason. Get one more. Dred Scott versus Sanford. Dred Scott versus Sanford. It's the Dred Scott decision. March 6, 1857. Amid increasing political division, Dred Scott, a slave, had been transported from a slave-holding state of Missouri to a free areas where slavery was illegal. Scott sued. Watch this. This is heavy. Scott sued for his freedom, claiming he had been freed when he was taken to free U.S. territories. In a landmark decision, the Supreme Court held that Scott and other black people, whether enslaved or free, were not citizens of the United States. Go look it up. I ain't making this up. So you and I are not citizens here. That's what it say, right? Go look at the law. It's the Dred Scott decision. Dred Scott versus Sanford. It went to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court said these Negroes ain't even citizens. That's why you got a what? A voting act. And that's why it expires every 25 years. They got to go back to Congress to decide whether you Negroes going to vote or not. You Negroes is crazy. All of y'all sitting up there telling us some Biden, Trump, but they don't look.
That's why they
Young,
do
out
it.
of my eyes. Let's go back. Let's go back to Exodus. Exodus, the first chapter and the 11th verse.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters
Mm-hmm.
to afflict them with their burdens. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Ramses.
Come on.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew. And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
Sound familiar? They have babies, though. We have some babies, don't we? We just had them babies. That's right. We don't mess around with that. Now, that's one thing we that's one thing we can do. We had them babies now. With no problem. Baby on deck. You know? Shoot. We have babies so much they be 10 and 11 months apart. I can't keep my husband off me. 10 and 11 months apart. We're gonna have them babies. Boom. Boom. All right. Let's read verse 12 again. I'm sorry. Let's read verse 12 again. I didn't get thrown off. Let's read verse 12 again.
But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and grew.
Mm-hmm.
And they were grieved because of the children of Israel.
They were grieved because of the children of Israel. One of the ways you cause affliction and grief on a group of people is through the law. You set up laws to limit those you wish to inflict, right? So who here heard of redlining? Y'all know what that is, right? Redlining. Guess what the banks do? What's your zip code? guess what the loan office does? What's your address and your zip code? Nope, not for you. Guess what your insurance company do? What's the address? Your insurance is much higher. Trust and believe. When I lived in Detroit, gave him my address was as much as the car note. I mean, my insurance, I'm sorry. My insurance was as much as the car note. You talking about $450 for insurance every month on one car. And some people was more higher than that. Some people was higher than that. I come down here to Eastman, I shoot them my address for both cars. They said 117. I said, what? How much? The address is not redlined. Over there, they said, you from where? Detroit. Oh, that's killing, killing. Oh, no, oh, no. Redlining is a discriminatory practice in which financial services are withheld from neighborhoods that have significant numbers of racial and ethnic minorities. Redlining has been most prominent in the United States and has mostly been directed against African Americans. The most common examples involve denial of credit, insurance, denial of health care, and the development of food deserts of minorities. Now they just now start in Detroit. I don't know about here. I can talk about home. I can talk about Detroit. Now, a couple of years ago, they started to put like Myers and grocery stores in the city. But when I was coming up, hey, Montclair, there was a food desert.
They create them down here.
They created them down here. There was nowhere you could get, and well, they did have. Let me back up. They did have grocery stores in the city, but they were garbage. There was garbage. You get there, and the meat was green and blue, and
That's that rank meat.
the cans had dust on them, and the butter was $5, and the bread, you better check that bread. Might have some mold on it. Yeah. It was terrible. And people had to eat like that because they had no assets to get to better grocery stores. So this redlining created a food desert. Now, once other people, once the Edomites started coming back to the city, now all of a sudden Myers and stuff started popping up, Whole Foods and all this kind of stuff. Yeah, because they didn't want them to have to travel down there to go get their food, fresh food. Let's go back to Exodus. Exodus 1:13.
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 13.
Mm-hmm.
The Egyptians made the children of Israel to serve with rigor.
Come on.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service.
In all manner of service. We just wasn't making bricks. In all manner of service like it is right now today. In all manner of service. Come on.
In the field. And their service, wherein they made them serve, was with rigor.
With rigor. Now, rigor is described as a condition of stiffness. Rigor is frequently refers to a process of adhering absolutely to certain restraints or a practice of maintaining strict consistency with certain predefined parameters. It's called hardship. It's what is these jobs are what ex-President Trump said the other day in his speech. The black jobs. These are the jobs with rigor. You know them the Latino population is coming over and they're gonna take all of your black jobs. You mean these rigor jobs? These hard bondage jobs. That's what you're talking about. Rigor nigger. Gonna take these black jobs. That tells you sometimes he'll talk and that'll tell you where his mind is. Because he can't control himself. That tell you biting too. He'll tell you where his mind is.
If you're listening and paying attention, all of them will tell you.
All of them will tell you. They tell you just what it is, just what's on their mind. They tell you what they think about you.
No, they love you, Bishop.
Say that?
I said, no, they love you.
They love you. No, they don't see color. I got plenty of black friends. Exodus 1:14. Huh?
This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1, verse 14.
Mm-hmm.
And they made their lives bitter with hard bondage, in mortar and in brick, and in all manner of service in the field. All their service wherein they made them serve was with rigor.
Come on.
And the king of Egypt spake to the Hebrew midwives.
Are we at 14? Did I get 14?
That was 14. I read.
Okay, that's all I wanted. Let's go back to Judah. Let's go back to Judah 5, and I believe we stopped off at 16 or 17.
Stopped at 11.
We stopped at 11. Drop down to 17 then. Drop down to 17.
This is the book of Judah, chapter 5, verse 17. And whilst they sinned not before their God, they prospered.
Mm-hmm.
Because the God that hateth iniquity was with them.
The Most High that hateth iniquity was with the children of Israel long as we did sin. Ain't nothing you could do with us. Ain't nothing you could do with us. Come on. Verse 18. Watch this. Come on.
But when they departed from the way which
Come
he
on.
appointed,
Uh-huh.
but when they departed from the way which he appointed them, they were destroyed in many battles, very
Come on.
sore,
Come on.
and were led captives into a land that was not theirs.
Read.
And the temple of their God was cast to the ground,
Come on.
and their cities were taken by the enemies.
This is the playbook right here. This is the playbook right here. You don't think they read this right here? Those with understanding. You don't think they read that part right there? We got to keep them in sin. So this is the playbook. How do we keep them in sin? Through their music, through their entertainment, through television. We have to keep them in sin through our laws. Let's get them to be lockstep with the Democratic Party. Let's get them lockstep with them, and let's get them to say that we love abortion, we love gay rights, we love. Yeah. Let's keep them in sin. Say it again.
Bishop, I had a friend tell me, because I don't vote, they don't want to be my friend. I say, all praise to the Most High.
All praises. All praises to the Most High. All praises. Vote for what? Listen, when Obama got in office, if he ain't do nothing for you, you can forget about everybody else. You know, that was his chance right there to do something. He could have just, as a matter of fact, he could have just said, you know what, we're done with this act stuff. We just gonna go ahead and solidify this stuff. Let's make an executive decision that black folks are citizens and they're able to vote no matter what. Right? That didn't happen, did it? What you know what happened? Gay rights happened. That's what happened. Say it again.
Obama had handlers.
That's right. That's right. He sure did.
2 years junior senator. Or for the White House.
That ain't never happened before. Yeah. That's right. That's the playbook right there. Keep them in sin. The 19th verse 19.
But now are they returned to their God, and are come up from the places where they were scattered, and have possessed Jerusalem, where their sanctuary is, and are seated in the hill country, for it was desolate.
Read on.
Now, therefore, my Lord and Governor, if there be any error in this people, and they sin against their Yah, let us consider that this shall be their ruin, and let us go up, and we shall overcome them.
So if we sin against our Yah, this is going to be our ruin. We did sin against Yah, and it was our ruin. Verse 21.
But if there be no iniquity in their nation, let my Lord now pass by, lest their Yah defend them, and their Yah before them, and we become a reproach before all the world.
We're going to tear that behind up.
Woo-wee.
We're going to tear them up. As long as we ain't in sin, we're going to tear them up. That's the playbook. Keep them in sin. Keep their daughters whores. Keep their men homosexuals. That's the playbook. Why do you think every movie you see, do you see a bunch of white folks being gay on entertainment? I know that they are, but they don't show them or promote them, right? They always promoting all these black folks and homosexuality. Huh? It's always some limp wrist dude on the scene somewhere. And then why all these homosexuals are so big? They be like 6'4", 250 pounds of a big homosexual. Almost said the other word. Hey, what is going on here? And why are all the women whores? They make it cool to be a prostitute now. You got these big eyebrows on, this big, this thick, right here, tongue out, and twerking, talking about if you ain't giving me no money, you ain't getting none. Sister, I don't want none. I don't want none. Don't smell right. I don't want none. You got to come out of sin. Let's get 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians, the 6th chapter and the 9th verse. This is the sin you got to stay out of. I'm talking about as a nation. I ain't talking about as an individual like either. I ain't talking about as an individual like. I'm talking about as a nation of people. Y'all heard what the book says is if they as a nation. You got a whole lot of keyboard prophets out there. I know they be on my Facebook, on my TikTok, they be trying to get at me. I just be like, block. Block. Keyboard prophet. That's all. 1 Corinthians 6 and 9.
This is the book. This is the book of 1 Corinthians, chapter 6, verse 9 and verse 10.
Come on.
Know ye not that the unrighteous shall not inherit the kingdom of Yah?
Mm-hmm.
Be not deceived, neither fornicators, nor idolaters, nor adulterers, nor effeminate, nor abusers of themselves with mankind.
That's homosexuality. Abusers of themselves with mankind is homosexuality. Come on.
Nor thieves, nor covetous, nor drunkards, nor revelers, nor extortioners shall inherit the kingdom of Yah.
If you find yourself in any of those things, you need to pull yourself out of those things. That's right. And many people run around butthurt when you say something about it. I just said something to save your life, and you mad. You running around with your lip poked out, and you mad because I said something to save you. Be mad. I want you to be mad. I want you to be mad all the way to the lake of fire. I want you to be mad all the way there, and continue to be mad in it. I'm serious. I'm serious. People that you love. And I would never equate myself to a great man like Moses. I would not. I would not. But I can only imagine. People that you love, you tell the truth about you or turn around and hate you for trying to save their stupid behind life. I'm trying to save you. I'm trying to save you. But you don't want to hear what I got to say because you don't want to come out that sin. And you find yourself right here in 1 Corinthians 6 and 9. That's you, buddy. That's you. And you don't want to come out of that. Let's go to Mark 7 and 20. Mark 7 and 20. Mark 7, verses 20 through 23.
This is the book of Mark, chapter 7, verse 20. And he said, that which cometh out of a man, that defileth the man. Mm-hmm. For from within, out of the heart of men, proceed evil thoughts.
Come on.
Adulteries.
Mm-hmm. It started in your mind first. Adultery started in your mind first. You know that's that man's wife. You know it, right? So that started, or you know, that's that woman's husband. You know it. It started here first. It's a thought first. I wonder if I can get at that. And then you act on that thought. It started in your mind. Come on.
Fornicator,
Come on.
murders,
Mm-hmm.
thefts,
Mm-hmm.
covetousness,
Come on.
wickedness,
Come on.
deceit, lasciviousness,
Mm-hmm.
an evil eye,
Come on.
blasphemy,
Come on.
pride,
Read.
foolishness.
Foolishness. 23.
All these evil things come from within and defile the man.
And defile the man. Get the sin out of your life. So it doesn't matter if you flee to another country. It don't matter. You can go wherever you want to go. You taking that with you. You taking all that sin with you. I'm gonna go to Demon. You're gonna go to Demon with adultery on your mind. And fornicate, you gotta clean this up. You gotta clean this up. Only if I can get away. If I can just get away from America, I'll be okay. No, you taking all that sin in your heart with you. This was got to be clean. I ain't saying don't go over there. You can go over there. It might be beautiful. You have a great life and a good time, and it'd be wonderful. But get your heart clean first, because you taking all your sin with you. See, a lot of people think if they just change, if I just change my surroundings, it ain't your surroundings, it's you. It ain't your surroundings, it's you. It's one thing that I always liked about my son, right? My youngest son. I always liked that he had a mind of his own, right? So when he got around his friends, I knew that he wasn't gonna be doing stuff because he was like, I ain't doing that. I you know what I'm saying? I told him one time, so why don't you go over there with your cousins and stuff? He was like, they over there doing such and such. I don't do that. I said, oh, okay, yeah, you doing right. Go ahead. Yeah, that's right. It ain't your surroundings. It's the person in the surroundings. You got to change you. Last scripture. Let's go to Psalms 10. Hopefully, it's the last scripture. Psalms 10 and 7.
This is the book of Psalms, chapter 10, verse 7. His mouth is full of cursing and deceit and fraud. Under his tongue is mischief and vanity.
This is talking about all 535 members of Congress. They write laws, whether you believe it or not, with you in mind. That's right. Why do you think the governor of Michigan didn't go to jail when when they poisoned the water? Y'all know they poisoned that water?
Yeah.
Them people was drinking poisoned water. Nobody went to jail. What happened is still going on in Jackson, Mississippi. The water crisis. And then you don't hear that on CNN, do you? Them folks don't care. Because you know what? The majority of our people live there. That's right. Those laws don't apply. They don't hold themselves guilty when they do wrong to us. But you pull a strap on your brother, you lay him down, they gonna oh yeah, I'm gonna give him the 3,900 years and more. I got two for the price of one. Yeah, got one that's laid down, the other one, he going forever. Bet you be trying to do some praying then. Verse 8.
Verse 8. He sitteth in the lurking places of the villages.
Come on.
In the secret places doeth he murder the innocent. His eyes are privy set against the poor.
He takes notes, brothers and sisters. Why do you think these cameras are put up in the city? If you go out there, if you go down, I don't know what's happening in the city down here because I'm not still not as familiar with the city as I am with my home city. But when I go home, go down some of those streets down there. There's green lights everywhere. They blinking. There's cameras everywhere. You think them cameras is just there for your safety? Care nothing about your safety. They sit in privy. They sit there and they watch you. They watch what you buy. They watch how you act. They watch what kind of food you eat. They watch where you shop so they can write laws to dictate what's going to happen next. Oh, we got you. Oh, we got you. That's how they do. Let's finish this out 9 and 10, verses 9 and 10.
He lieth in wait
Mm-hmm.
secretly as a lion in his den.
Mm-hmm.
He lieth in wait to
Come
catch
on.
the poor.
Mm-hmm.
He will catch the poor when he
Come on.
draweth him into his net.
When he draweth him into the net. Read.
He croucheth and humble himself,
Mm-hmm.
that the poor may fall by his strong ones.
His eyes are privily set against the poor. He lieth in wait to catch the poor. He draweth him into his net by what? His policies. His policies. He set forth policies to put you in a fix, to trap you and I. It's a setup. All to prevent the upward mobility of a people. And more importantly, to keep us in a state of sin.
Now, Bishop,
All right. We're going to leave it right there. Go ahead, brother.
now when you started this, you said you wanted people to correct you because you might say something wrong. And I'm here to tell you, you just said something wrong. Because for first and foremost, the Most High love everybody, and there are good people all over the place. You hear me?
Okay.
I just had to let you know that before you shut down.
Okay.
Just
Oh,
in case
praise.
everybody.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. We're going to leave it right there. All praise to the Most High. All right, for those of you that are, come on, shut us out. For those of you that are watching abroad, thank you for joining us. Look forward to seeing you next time. God bless you. Have a smile upon you. Give you peace.